Right. Swastiastu. Hello everyone, how are you today? My name is Wayan Piona Gitawati, and in this video, I'm going to explain about logical fallacy. But before that, let me tell you about the table of contents in this presentation. What will we discuss in this video? Number one, we will discuss about the definition of logical fallacy, and then number two is the types and the cases of logical fallacy in our daily life communication or arguing, and the last one is the conclusion. All right, everyone, in every day, everyone has the right to express their arguments and opinion against everything around them. Almost everyone would want their arguments to be accepted, trust, and value in the society. Basically, everyone may have different arguments or opinion when responding to an incident. Difference of opinions and arguments in everyone will trigger a debate. During the arguing process, many people pay no attention to their way of thinking, which causing logical fallacy. Well, logical fallacy is an argument that is wrong in logical thinking that is able to deceive people who heard the argument. The word fallacy comes from the Latin fallacia, which means deception. In Indonesia, logical fallacy can mean a sesat pikir. Logical fallacy is a logical leap that leads us to wrong conclusion and cannot be supported by facts or evidence. People who say fallacy argument intentionally to persuade, deceive, or manipulate the other person, while the people who commit fallacy argument unintentionally caused by several factors such as carelessness and then lack cognitive and social understanding or the limitation in understanding the language. And what are the type of logical fallacy? There are a lot types of logical fallacy in the argument process, and here are the 5 types, and including the cases that we often find in the arguing process. We will discuss it more clearly in the with the example of cases. Well, let's start from the hasty generalization. Hasty generalization is a fallacy when the claim made on the basis of insufficient evidence instead of looking into example and evidence that are much more in line with the typical or average situation. We draw a conclusion about the large population using a small or unrepresentative sample. For example, in the school, when a teacher find one or two students came late to school, and the teacher said, there are 2 students came late today. The students at the school are lazy. So this sentence is hasty generalization because we cannot generalize 2 students into the large population of students in one school. And another example, maybe you often find when your friends or a woman feels broken up, and she may say, all men cannot be loyal and cannot be loved only one woman. So this example also types or cases of logical fallacy in hasty generalization. And then let's move to the second type, slippery slope. Slippery slope is an argument that states an action which will lead to something that is wrong and unacceptable. Slippery slope is an argument which states that one incident can cause a very significant effect and it's not fully related. And this kind of fallacy is tendency to assume wrong causes and effects even though there is no reasonable connection between them. And for the example, you may have find your friend lost their pen, and they will say, if I lost my pen, then I cannot study. If I can't study, then I can't find a job. If I can work, then I can eat, and if I can eat, then I will die. So the conclusion from all the sentence is, if I lost my pen, then I will die. So there is no relation or significant relation between losing my pen and being die. let's move to the third type, circular argument. Circular argument is an argument that goes around without any end. In circular argument, someone attempts to prove something using circular logic. The use of conclusion as evidence to show that their argument is true. For example, when we state using logic is important because it's important to use logic. And another example, when A said, what is the meaning of life? And B answer, I think it's personal happiness. Then A asks again, why do you think so? And B answer, because nothing is as important as being happy. So there is no end of the argument or conversation because because they use circular logic. The next types is strawman. When we create a false target in the form of a new argument from opponent is called strawman. Strawman argument is a fallacy when you simplify your opponent's argument in order to be able to attack the opponent argument easily. In a strawman, someone usually makes other arguments that are not related completely. For example, when a debate between presidential candidates, presidential candidate A will say, I will reduce the military budget and divert it to the other needs. Then the candidate B said he wants to make our country military defenseless. So the argument that said by candidate B is not related completely with the argument that said by the candidate A. The last type is ad hominem. Ad hominem is a logical fallacy by attacking the opponent personality when making an argument. Ad hominem doesn't aim to fight or to attack the opponent's argument, but rather than to attack the opponent personality or characteristic. For example, when a poor person say money and success are not a guarantee for people to be happy, then the person B who heard the argument said, you are poor, how can you know how it's feel to be rich? So the sentence that said by the person B is doesn't attack the argument from the poor people or person, but attack the personality or characteristic from the poor person. In addition, we must avoid logical fallacy in arguing process to avoiding deceive or manipulate other people or our opponents. All right, as the conclusion, logical fallacy can be defined as defective conclusion in arguing. There are several factors that influence the occurrence of logical fallacy, whether intentionally or unintentionally. We must expand our understanding of language and cognitive abilities to avoid logical fallacy. There are 5 logical fallacies that we often find in daily life. Number 1 is hasty generalization, slippery slope, circular arguments, strawman, and ad hominem. And of course, in our communication or arguing process, all of them has a lot of cases in communication process. All right, everyone, that's all I can explain about logical fallacy. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Santi.